Hello everyone, welcome to Name with Sherri. I'm going to show you how to graft stitches today. So it's called grafting. And what you're going to do is you can either lay your outfit or your garment with your cast on stitches, or if you pick these stitches up, or if you had these on your needle already, ready to graft these, and you can lay it facing up, and then you can do it that way, or you can do it with the wrong sides together, as I have here on the two needles together. And you want to make sure you have the same number of stitches and on both sides. So at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to we're going to go in as to purl or as to knit. Okay, so you want to make sure your working yarn stays under the two needles at all times. So when you go back and forth, you're going to go, you'll see. All right, so at this point, you're going to go in as to purl on the first stitch. You're going to bring it through. All right, and then you're going to knit the first stitch on the back, but don't go over this way. You want to go in. You can bring your yarn in like that. And you go in on the left side as to knit. Okay, bring your yarn through. And at this point, you're going to go back to the front, bring in your yarn underneath. You're going to knit that first stitch. And at this point, you're going to slip that stitch off that needle in the front. Okay, so you can do it with this needle and then pull it. Okay, and then kind of slide it back up. All right, then you're going to take and you're going to stay in the front, and you're going, after you pull that stitch off, and you're going to go back in as to purl. Okay. Oops, hold on, my needle got away from me. Okay, and at this point you're going to go to the back. Remember to keep your yarn underneath, and we're going to go in as to purl. Okay. And you're going to slip that stitch off the back needle. So you can go in and take it with your needle if you have to. No more than that, just that one. And bring that needle back up. And now you want to stay in the back, and you want to go in as to knit. So you're going to go in just like so on the left side of that as to knit. Keep your yarn and needle underneath the two needles. All right. Now, leave that stitch on. All right, so what you're going to do now is you're going to come back to the front, and you're going to knit this stitch, the first one, knit it, and slip it. So pull that and slip the stitch off. Tighten it up again. Make sure your needle goes back up there, okay? Now you're going to stay in the front, and you're going to purl the next stitch. So you go in to the right side of that and purl it. And now you're going to go to the back, and you're going to purl the stitch, and then you're going to slip it off. Stay in back underneath your yarn. Okay, take that stitch off. You're going to stay in back, and you're going to knit the stitch in the back. So you're going to come in on the left side, and you're going to knit that stitch. Okay, now you're going to come back to the front, leave that stitch on. All right, so now you're going to come back to the front, and you're going to knit the front. So you're going to knit just like so, keeping your yarn underneath. You want to slip that stitch off. All right, I'm using a different color so you can kind of see what's happening. All right, so now we're going to purl the next one. Come in on the right side and purl it, and you're going to leave that stitch on. All right, so if you need to bring your needle back up. All right, keeping your yarn underneath, you want to go to the back, and you want to purl the back stitch on that back needle, keeping your yarn in underneath. Okay, slip that stitch off and pull it. Then you're going to go in as to knit on that back needle. Okay, keeping your yarn underneath at all times. All right, now we come back to the front, and you kind of do this back and forth. Okay, so when you knit one, you're going to go in as to knit. You're going to slip it. And then you can pull that needle back out. Then if you feel safer like that. And then you're going to purl the next one. You're going on the right. And then you'll keep your yarn underneath. You'll go to the back. And you're going to purl that first stitch and slip it off. And then you're going to go into the next one as the back one, and knit the next stitch. Okay. And then you'll bring it front. And you're repeating yourself basically. So at this point you're going to go in as to knit. And you're going to slip it off as to knit. And then you're going to purl the next stitch. So you're going to go in as to purl. You're not going to purl it, you're just going in as a purl. Okay. And keep that one on. Now you're going to go to the back, and you're going to purl that first stitch on the back. Okay, keeping your yarn underneath. Okay. Now you're going to take this next stitch. Oh, you want to slip that one off. I'm sorry. Follow through. Okay, you want to take the next one and purl it, but you want to leave it on. Do not pull it off. Okay. Alright, so you come back to the front and you repeat. So what you're going to do is knit the front one, the first stitch, and you're going to slip it off. Slip that off. Purl the next one in the front needle, on that front needle. Okay. Now leave that one on. Okay. Now on the back needle, you're going to keep your yarn underneath the needles. You're going to go to the back and purl the first one. And you're going to slip it off. Okay. Oops. And now you're going to knit the next one. When you see me here, I'm just pulling my needle back so that I don't lose my stitches. Okay, so then you want to go in as to knit on the back. Keep your yarn. Okay, I have it on top, but you want to get that between the needles and get it below there. Okay, so don't let it come on top there, or it'll make another stitch. Okay, and then you knit that one, and you still should have the same number of stitches on both sides. Okay. All right, so back to the front. We'll repeat. We're going to go in as to knit and slip that stitch off. Okay, slip that one off. Whoops, watch your back ones because it will happen. You'll lose them all. Okay, now go into the front on the next stitch and purl that front stitch. Come to the back, keeping your yarn under the needles, and you're going to purl that first stitch and pull it off, slip it off. So slip it off. Pull your needle back up. Alright, and then take the next one, and you're going to knit that one. So you can put your yarn between the two needles, and you'll see that it works good like that. Well, okay, most of the time it works good. Okay, so you should have 3 on each one. Come back to the front, and you're going to knit the first stitch and slip it off. Remember only to get 1. Check your yarn. Okay, slip that stitch off, pull it tight. Okay, the next one is to purl up front. Purl it. Okay, leave it on your needle. Go to the back. Okay, taking your yarn underneath, and you're going to purl the first one. Slip it off. Got it? Okay, and you'll knit the next one. Put your yarn between the two needles. It kind of helps coming back down with the yarn. Leave that stitch on. Okay, so now you want to go to the front again. You want to knit that stitch, the first one, on the first needle. Pull that stitch off. Okay, bring your needle back up, purl the next one on the same front needle. Okay, go to the underneath with your yarn to the back, and we're going to purl the first one, and we're going to slip it off. Okay, now you want to knit the next one. Put your yarn between the two needles. As you do that, it kind of helps. Okay, leave that one on, and now you're going to take and knit the first one on the first needle. Okay, and you'll slip it off. You pull that tighter, and then at this point you don't need that needle anymore, and then you'll take your back one and you can purl that one and slip it off. Alright, so there you have it. You just grafted and then you can tie it off or cut it and run it through your seam. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It would actually not show if I had the same color, but because I used a different color to show you how to demonstrate it. But you can see it actually is pretty flat. You wouldn't even see that if it was the same color. It would look really nice. And here's what it looks like on the other side. And it would blend right into if it was the same color. And it's very flat, and it's actually a very nice seam. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up and some comments if you'd like, and I hope you enjoy doing that. Thank you so very much.